Hey guys, my name is Brad Miller. You probably haven't seen or heard much of me, but I work behind the scenes at Hiland Naturals, and I'm here with Kevin. As you can see, he also works for Hiland Naturals, and I'm sure if you called in, you've probably talked to him a few times. So the reason we're here is because we've been getting a lot of questions, similar questions, and one of the main ones is about our project verification, and people will say, well, we get non-GMO feeds, but is it verified, and why does that matter? And so can you tell us a little bit about why that's important, and also what that means? How does it, what process does it go through to ensure that it's verified?
Sure. What we do is we test all our grains to give our customers peace of mind that the grains are free of genetic modification. So it's done pretty simple. Basically what we do is we do a strip test, and with that strip test, it tests for specific proteins that are in the grains themselves, and these specific proteins tell us whether the feed is genetically modified or not. So then we take that strip test and we put it into a PCR test or a computer test, which sends it off to a company called Genetic ID, and Genetic ID from there breaks that test down more and lets us know what percentage free our feed is from genetic modification, or if there is any traces of genetic modification. And like I said, we do this to give our customers a peace of mind, because there are a lot of people out there right now selling non-GMO feed, but it's all through them saying it's non-GMO and there's no proof behind it. So this is that peace of mind we give our customers, that our feed is free. So, and then on top of that, we also test for the top 60 insecticides and herbicides to give our customers a feed that's also free of chemicals too.
Okay. So what, when people say, well, our feed is non-GMO, why would they, are they lying about it, or how might it not be non-GMO?
No, I mean, it very well could be non-GMO. I wouldn't say there's, anybody lying about it. The problem there is with genetic modification though today is they have drift and cross-pollination. They're both the same thing, but it's people call it two different terminations for it. But basically how that works is they could have grown corn or soybeans from seed that were non-GMO, but that doesn't mean once it's actually grown into a full plant that it stayed the same, because it could have drifted, or we could have got some cross-pollination that contaminated those grains. And so very well could have started off non-GMO, but the finished product might not be non-GMO. So it needs to be tested to prove. If a farmer has grown a field of non-GMO corn, and then the field beside him, the farmer beside him, has grown conventional corn, then those two can cross-pollinate, and then it contaminates the farmer that's grown the non-GMO corn's fields.
One other thing, like when we have it tested, what is the level that it has to pass in order to be considered non-GMO?
It has to be 99.5% free. So that's what we're looking for in the test, and so if it doesn't meet that criteria, then we can't purchase the grain at that time.
Right.
So then whether they brought a truck in or whatever to our mill, then we can't use it. But if it does pass, then of course the corn or the soybean, whatever we're testing, whatever grain that can be genetically modified, would go into our bins if it's clean.
Okay. Thanks, Kevin.
You're welcome.